In the first reading from the book of Isaiah, it talks about the mountain of the Lord's house. That the mountain of the Lord's house will be coming. Now the mountain of the Lord's house is the temple in Jerusalem. And the temple in Jerusalem was the meeting place for humanity and divinity. The people of Israel would go to the temple to meet Yahweh, there to celebrate with Him. And of course, the coming of the temple refers to the second coming. The first coming, of course, is Christmas that we prepare for. And the second coming is at the end of the world when Jesus will come again. And in between the two comings, the Lord comes to us each day. And we are to recognize the Lord in His coming. Now the Gospel speaks about the coming of the Son of Man. And He comes as is in the days of Noah. Now in the days of Noah we know that the waters of the flood baptized the earth, cleansing it of idolatry and violence. So we have a new age. The waters of the baptism, of course, reminds us that before the flood, the world had to be cleansed. And baptism cleanses us at our birth, preparing us for the coming of Christ. Now, in the 7th chapter of the book of Daniel, the Son of Man comes on a cloud. And this Son of Man that comes on a cloud, in a way, defeats 4 empires that were before him. The Babylonian Empire, the Persian Empire, the Greek Empire, and the Roman Empire. They are portrayed in the book of Daniel by 4 beasts. The first one, of course, is a lion. The second is a bear. The third is a leopard. And the fourth beast, referring to the Roman Empire, of course, is a beast with iron teeth and 10 horns. And the Son of Man, of course, represents something quite different from the 4 beasts. The 4 empires were built on slavery. They were built on violence. The kingdom of the Son of Man will build upon peace and freedom. And the whole world is called to the temple at the end of the world, called to be in the temple where humanity reaches divinity. That's heaven. It's heaven because there will be no more wars. There will be no more strife. There will be no more hurricanes. There will be no more earthquakes, natural disasters. Animals will get along with one another, and all humankind will get along with one another, and that is heaven. What a contrast it is to today. Today, of course, we have violence all over the world. We have Islam opposing Western civilization. We have ISIS destroying innocent people in many countries around the world. Today, we have problems in our own country, divided in a way. We have serious problems in the country where religion is eliminated from the public square, that in our universities we have professors that promote almost an intolerance for any other views than their own. We have in the media a bias that they promote rather than the truth. We have in the entertainment field, often in the entertainment field, humankind is not uplifted, but somehow it's filled with exploitation and corruption. We have in the government spending that also somehow ends up into the pockets of those who are greedy. We have in the inner city violence. We have gangs, drugs, poor education, a lack of public morality. All this will come to an end with the coming of Christ. Those who embrace Christ, who embrace and believe in a loving God, changes the whole thing. When Christ was presented or called or was questioned at his trial, and the high priest asked him who he was really. Was he the Messiah? Because Christ had predicted the temple would be abolished. And that was a challenge to the high priest. The temple was the power base of the high priest who exploited the temple. When he asked Christ, "Are you really the Messiah?" he answered that he was the Son of Man. The Son of Man, referring back to the book of Daniel. Also in that book, we have the story of the statue, the large statue with the golden head, with silver on the shoulders, and the body made out of bronze, and the feet of clay. And a small stone strikes the statue with the four elements. Once again, the four elements are those four kingdoms: the Babylonians, the Persians, the Greeks, and the Romans. And the small stone destroys the statue. And the small stone becomes a large mountain, filling the whole earth with the kingdom of the Son of Man. So here we are, in between the two comings, the coming of Christmas, the first Christmas, and the coming of the end of the world, when the new Jerusalem will come down here on earth and we'll have peace and love. The other readings today will speak of the putting on the armor of Christ and the light of Christ, doing away with the darkness of the world. We are called to be alert for the here and now, between the two comings, when Christ can come to us. We are to embrace him. Christ has become part of our own living. He is to permeate our consciousness, so that as we go through the day, that our stream of consciousness will be filled with the peace and love of Christ as we move towards the final destination of the whole world, with the second coming of Christ, when the Lamb of God will come down to defeat all evil.